Enter to Bluetooth. Bluetooth connected.
I insist that you try some of these cookies.
A clean or neat. Has the room a complete mess. Metal. Metal is a true material equally to building. Steel is a common metal that is used to build building. Monitor. To monitor people or things is to watch them closely. The teacher monitors the students when they take tests. Oppose. But oppose something is to dislike it or act against it. I want to be a school process officer because it's a program. Passive. Is the person passive? They do not take action to solve problem. Mostly so passive that we never solve their own problem. Quality. All quality is a certain amount in something. I have a quality of milk in a glass. Sue. To sue someone need to take them to the court for something wrong they did. I sued the company after I slept on the banana peel and homeway. The mean chef. Once there was a chef who he mean to his cook. They was mean to the people he came in to eat. He tried to much for milk. Many people were not able to afford the trip and mean dust, but he messed up and broke. He did not have fist. So everything baked in burn. The only light was from candle, and the whole place was messed. Sometimes it didn't pay his waiter. Then they had no fun. They had many dust. The chef behaviors that all the time. He monitored the cook and yelled that they did not do things this way. One day, the cook decided they were tired of pure view, and they did not be passed anymore. Everyone approached the chef. At first, I thought about suing him. Instead, they tired of the chef were rolled. Now they control the restaurant. They decrease the price of the food. They use wasting ingredient and make less quality of food. They turn on the light. The restaurant was converted into the happy place. For the first time, many people came to eat. The chef realized that the restaurant problem was his fault. The chef learned the important lesson. The new general chef insisted on giving the customer a free meal. Unit 13, work list. Anxiety. When someone has anxiety, they have a lot of worry and fear. When I have to fly to high places, I feel the anxiety. Army. An army is a lost world people who fight them more. The army protects all the people in the country. Billion. A billion is a very large number. There are billions of stars in our space. Carl. To carve means to cut into something. My father usually carved the turkey for Thanksgiving. Console. To console someone means to ask them for help. I will console my accountant to find a way to pay for my bills. Emergency. An emergency is a time when someone needs help right away. There was a huge fire in my house. It's an emergency. Fortune. One have good fortune is when they have luck. I had good fortune when I played cards. Guarantee. To guarantee means to know something will happen. I guarantee that the sun come up in the morning. Hike. to hike means to walk in the mountain or forest. I always bring plenty of equipment when we hike. Initial. When something initial is the first thing. The initial step when writing a paper is to find a good topic. Intent. If sometimes intent is very strong. The calmest intent older than kill the air. Lend. To lend something is to give it to someone for the short time. My sister lost a pen, so I was lent mine. Peak. The peak is the very top of the mountain. There is snow on the peak of the mountain. Potential. Potential means capable of being or not yet in existence. I thought of some potential problem that's your idea. Prize. When you have pride, you're happy with yourself. I take pride in getting good grade. Proof. Proof is the fact that so something is real. They use a blender when there's proof for the crime committed. Quit. To quit something means to stop doing it. I quit running because I got tired. Spin. To spin is to turn around a circle. The boy kept spinning until they fell down. Tiny. When people or things are tiny, they are very small. A baby has in tiny. Tutor. A tutor is someone who gives lessons in the certain subject. My sister best math, so my mother hired a tutor to help her. Tutor. The cat and the fox. One day a cat high on the mountain. When he reached the peak, he missed the fox. They began talking about how they get away from the enemy. I am very smart. I have billions of ideas. I can crawl a tiny hole in the tree and then climb in. The frog says. The other, I have a lot of friends. If I am in trouble, I can call them to lend help. I can escape an entire army if I have to. Then the frog said, what are your potential plan? The cat said, I have only one plan. The frog says, I hope you had good fortune then. Do you want me to be your tutor? I can teach you many things. The cat said, I guarantee that my plan works every time. We can quick out about it. Soon they saw a group of war. It was an emergency. The cat quickly used the plan. She ran up the tree. The frog could not decide which plan to use. What should my initial loopy? Should I console my friend? The frog felt intense anxiety. All he could do was spin a circle. The world cut got the frost. The cat was the full of fright. This is proof that having a good plan is better than having many bad plans. Unit 14. Work list. Apparent. If something is apparent, it's easy to see. The goal of entering economic recession, marking both to invest all-time high. That's a real thing. The people does the anki I can make kids and mean them right quickly. I was passionate about real thing of micro the kid. It doesn't to be a real thing in matter person of life. This is going to let people are happy to find room they want. And they want to work in higher communicate airline, communicate the content in California and upskill as a junket. And he wasn't even drive the car. They was usually the code to keep you rotated in a cancel contract until you're over 18. So you're 16 university and find the crowd, you lose the pike in the browser, you brought the internet. You still make you cook at home, then for sale, contribute in a coffee shop and thing. But still I had to go, take it by and eventually I go deliver. So let's start by getting the goal thing is. By the turn the team gets in routing. The site he's from better they call realtic area get their network area that work. Another driven by the number street. Is they receive the right scenario and they think they can stop the override from really good guy to get the hard happening to the committee of browsing the people. But I still tell his cell railroad zero. Why? We broke and the commission can't sell anything because you're really young. He just in euro looked like 6'10", and he could not take a white buy from me but someone else. Some people look at him and take it in and if somebody was not way camera starts. He want to get arresting the upset. And when the discovered say, so I cut a turn as well up until we turned to like when I realized the way I got to build my body George, drop in the corridor. I want to go challenge the ghost psychologist. I want to take attention to work for subvention whenever hell 1 hour. They got to focus 1 hour to have a career in that. So I think you need to do something that people know by what you do, but do what you say, how to live, what's going, don't what you want to talk in. That's all my feet, my live and my growth, my being is smooth. For 44 years. That's now I figure out the way, so I sit here now because I demonstrate who you are, so want to me that. Either advertising or physical shift, I think you should feed out something that do to your community. You're not doing a purple equity. You're doing a custom master, building a custom current scarce people feel what you're real. Put in a still day right. I can send someone is selling you or they maybe they're selling you something but after selling a thing the true, they're really bad good to confuse it. And so finding something and do to certainly something basic community and do the right thing. And you brand a prop and do it graded and do must learn much quicker. Even in the conversation, I can at first down. I then the work when they figure it out because they were trust by as physical talents first union when they cry. When the authority got to walk through the cry for father there's no the interest when you work me by 6 weeks. And in 1 week the interest will pick up the bills up making 6 weeks on the trust and daughter getting into it the rush going to commute high community people fix up on the come home. I got the camp to pick up the trust and stay return the community. Cross and poor is go to I frost myself so I can look for everybody. Whatever my took mice from my community that I less work. And got I hire the outside private trust come take all the trust women but I did it. I said do it and don't tell the anybody. We talk about the land we do it, can't just fly. And the century people when they were telling man you do one tell I did it and felt because of motion. But you really are feeling away telling really expect that. The country incredible service of family that came from. There's a done most across the fight out. They came back earlier in the second year. But 4,000 dollars, 4,000 dollars him like, 14,000 or 400,000. And I said, well, to get there $4,000 ring out and know who you are. If you find the passion, you're going to have the cemented energy of being able energy. But the momentum will either you want the next day to keep the momentum going and a reason. You get yourself on the passionate place. And so you change the life from the only to change the life and making decision. That gets a way to be successful. And I don't scratch to reflect a natural task. Natural believe being naturally talented or brandy, I believe. But when you heard me say it, your mother might confront it. Your daddy might confront it, your daddy might own the company. Your either father can give you everything you can heart desire, but you will not out of me what you can realize. That a big a dream that would effort worth the putting. Is it possible staring nothing becomes something? I remember years ago when I was like 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, I was in Stanford, I was up in Los Angeles, and I was working rubber where people, just young kids, I met a kid, it's not my quicken. I might was passionate about real estate or my young kid. He decided to be a real estate and passionate in life because like the people have to find home they want. And I want to work in the high-end community in LA, I mean, Cupertino, California, as an upscale community and Master Junket. And he wasn't even enough private car. He wanted to be a real estate and a real estate man. You can sign contracts until you're over 18. So it was only 16.7 before the car you used his car in those days before the internet. People used to make bookings homes for sale. He did to me some the coffee shop and things. So guy hired him. So take the bike eventually the car go deliver us list in a real estate. I returned to gas at in real estate. This site was five was of the core wealth in the area has got network in the work. You know, geography narrow in the sleep. There is still a higher area and things go on the world fire. Really good guy, the good heart, really committed real estate. But his first year he sell zero. Why? He's broke. He's on a commission. He can't sell anything because he's really young. He's 18 years old. Looks like he's 15. And it got not articulated by one versus someone else. When we look at any category in, if somebody more brilliant than not the way telling that, you wouldn't list it, you got a sound. We end the conversation. They cut the time around because I really drowned to and I realized when I got to build my brand new trust. Drop-in eco resort. I'm going to challenge psychologist. I'm going to take the person working for 7 years. I'm going to handle what an hour. When I trust the viewer, so I said you need to do something. Because people know what you do, not by what you say. I'm the least mood on your skirt. You want to totally brown and see my feet. My wrist and my quality might be in for move for 44 years. You know how to figure out. So I said, beginning though, they got demonstrate who you are. They got money, got advertising. I said, don't just sort. I think figure out something to community. You're not doing marketing break the measure, they can system care people get feel that it real, you have large right. It can stand somebody just telling you or maybe telling you that we are trying to sell this not true or really bad good. You can feel the difference. And so find something you can study something making your community and do the right thing and your brand will grow. And to describe it, you don't know when a month later they had another conversation because they figured out this out. I said, what? I figured out. Yeah, the trust right now is worse and intelligent as what union went right. And they go, Tony, you know, I got through and right through my farm and guilty in the farm. Fix our farm bill my 6 weeks. You know, 1 week the pastor pick up the bills up matching 6 weeks of the trust. And just getting into as compressed going to community, high community. People on fixed opera come home and was a big up the trust in the state the community. Or it's horrible. I frost on myself, but I can't do it for everybody. When I look at my firm, my committee, and my network, I got if I hire like an outside private trust committee of the trust away, and body did it. I said, do it. But don't tell everybody you did it. You don't go wrong with it. Do it and just right. And eventually people learn without telling them, tell them body you did it and going to a promotion. But you're really feeling the way you're telling you, you respect that. You want to be incredible service the families are there for. You say, I don't know, Master Cross, you'll find out. He came back early, the Christmas years when like $4,000, he was like, you know, 40,000 or for back then. And I said to him, but the doing for them, doing us, and no one to know who you are. And you'll find the passion. You have to get the tremendous energy of sustainable energy. But the momentum requires you always do nothing, keep momentum going. And the reason you get the self and the passion is so to change your life or in only the to change of making decision. There are two ways to be successful. And I don't quite the first one, just natural talent. I don't believe people who naturally talent is better than me. I broke it breast out in US. You say, the moment I come, your daddy might come and create your daddy my own company. And your mother father can give you everything your little heart desire, but you will not go out with me until realize that the beginning dream would effort go to 40.